Hey guys, Michael back with Horizon Trading, right? So we went over some advantages last time, although I personally think that, advantages don't mean anything, without some proof, right? So here it is. So I'm going to show you a few statements from, people that have learned the course, some of our past students, obviously. They're all different kind of people. Some of them traded aggressively, some of them traded conservatively, some on different markets, different time frames, all of that stuff, right? So I'll show you just how diversified you can be with this system as well as how it looks, when you successfully learn it and trade with it, okay? Okay, so we'll start with this gentleman, one of our Russian clients. He used Horizon quite aggressively, as you can see, there's a lot of deals going on. The lot size kind of varies all the time. That's a pretty large lot size, I'd say. His account went from about 500 USD to 1,875, right? Which makes his profit around, actually more than 300%, which I think is pretty good. As you can see here as well. Maximum drawdown, only 7.2, which I'd say is quite quite good for an aggressive kind of trading strategy, or rather approach to trading with this strategy. Okay, I think personally this ties in very well with advantage number three, which basically goes something like understanding which way the price is going to go, understanding who's going to control the market. Essentially, if you look into this a little bit. Obviously, this guy used short stops, otherwise, it'd be kind of difficult to trade aggressively. But apart from that, you can kind of inflate your deposit very easily by topping up your deals, so kind of putting in more money while the deal is going on, and making a larger profit without actually increasing your potential risk, right? So again, 300%, 7.2 drawdown, which makes risk reward, I'd say pretty damn good. I mean, as you can see here, he lost some deals, but if you look at rather loss to profit, stuff like that, you can see that all of his losses are much smaller than his profits. So I'd say this makes it quite clear. Right, next guy used Horizon to kind of do some midterm trading. So he traded on lots of stuff, Nasdaq, Brent oil, cryptos, stocks, a lot of stuff basically. He's all over the place, very diversified kind of guy. So he made a deposit of, I believe it was something like 30,000. Yes, it was 30,000 back in February, right? And then by the 10th of October, as you can see here, he made, let's see, he made almost $80,000, right? So $78,000, which makes his profit over 250%, which, again, I'd say pretty good, and all that with a max drawdown of only 15.6, which, a bit higher than the last one, but you have to understand that obviously with cryptocurrencies, they're very volatile, and I'd say that generally, this kind of diversified trading, when you have to kind of switch between different things, it may be a bit more difficult, but the point is it still works, right? So with Horizon, if you catch the logic of certain, when you tune into the specifics of certain instruments, right? I think you can make money off of pretty much anything, and I think this just goes to show that very well. Right, next student, he used Horizon in a kind of combined style, so both aggressive and conservative, depending on the situation, which I would say is a very sound approach. That's kind of, I think, the most logical thing to do. Okay, and he turned his 10,000 euros, which he originally deposited, into 206,000, which it's it's pretty decent, I'd say. And all that with a maximum drawdown of 6%, 6.2. So that's pitiful drawdown. I think this was all in about 8 months. So I think this just goes to show that, we kind of know what we're doing. So sign up for that course. I think this once again just proves the ability to use short stops and kind of, make your risk reward very much in your favor, because, again, very small drawdown, very big profit, that can only be achieved with short stops, because if stopped out with, a 1 to 2 risk reward, you only have a couple of deals you can lose. We're here, plenty of deals were lost, but, didn't really stop him, did it? Right, next one is also quite nice, another Russian client. This one was kind of a bit more long term. There's lots of different stuff. So there's stocks, there's oil, there's forex, there's gold. So again, very diversified. This one went from about, I think, 25 grand to almost 100. So Again, quite decent. Again, this was more long term. This was more conservative. Although quite a big lot size, but still very diversified. And again, this statement, apart from the profits, obviously, and the short stops and stuff, it goes to show that you can trade on anything. This is something very important, which we'll go over in another video later. But again, you can trade on anything. So whatever catches your fancy. You want to be a stocks man? Go ahead. You want to just do forex, intraday, whatever? Go for it. You want to do spot? You want to do, I don't know, anything essentially futures? Go for it, man. If you like, I think the value of this system is in the fact that once you learn it, you can apply it to anything. So you've been trading on forex for a while. I think what. I think I'm going to go into stocks, and you can. And you don't have to learn a new system. You don't have to relearn the whole kind of concept of trading. Just jump in and trade and make money. Same thing with futures. Same thing with pretty much anything. I think that's the beauty of it. I think that's what makes this system quite so good, right? And again, drawdown 8%. That's nothing really. And then this one, then the statement from a gentleman called George Johnson. Again, this was not particularly aggressive. This was quite conservative. He went from about, I think it was $3,000. Yeah, like $3,000 into almost $8. This again barely any drawdown, so quite conservative. But again, with short stops, it doesn't even matter how conservative you are realistically. This was mostly currency. In fact, this was only currency. A bit of gold as well, and some of that. But yeah, again, quite decent little, result, I'd say. So, yeah, just learn the system. What can I say? I think these results really speak for themselves. You can trade on anything. You basically guaranteed to profit with the risk reward, which is a very big, very important part of the system, right? So we're very adamant on if you leave a course with one thing, it's going to be risk reward, because if you have a good risk reward, it doesn't matter kind of what happens. You're still going to be able to trade and profit. I think anybody could successfully trade with a 1-to-8 or 1-to-10 risk reward ratio, and that's the most important thing. Okay. Now, I'd say that, the advantage is clearly visible, guys. I hope you found this useful, I hope you found this informative, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you, and goodbye.